What is going on, esteemed witnesses of the courtroom? This is the Croc to bring a gold silver crystal TGBDual Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be against MaverickHunterVile. His link will be in the description, and make sure to check out his channel after the match. Let's get straight into it, shall we? So Maverick Hunter is going to be leading with Electrode. Now, immediately I'm going to ask him if we're playing the overused format, because Electrode isn't commonly seen. I'm going to be leading with Clavier Gavin to strike up this concert as we get right into it. I'm going to go for the Cotton Spore, hoping to catch the Electrode, but instead I will catch the Steelix on the switch in. And technically I could Fire Punch, but I get a free switch out here into Cloyster with pretty much no worries at all. And he actually pulls a double switch into Machamp. Now this match kind of favors both of us. He does have the Stab Cross Chop to hit me with, but I can set up my spikes in exchange, which is kind of a fair deal. I'll go with it. You know, it's a pretty defensive Pokemon to take the Cross Chop. And I do see here, even without the crit, it is an easy two-shot for Maverick Hunter, so it's too early to explode, so I am just going to make a switch into Hammond, which is going to be my Exeggutor, and even if he decides to go to anything, in this case, it happens to be his Steelix coming in on the spikes, who cannot offensively harm Hammond in any way, shape, or form. Now, luckily, I have the Hidden Power Fire, and I'm going to go for it and see exactly how much it does. I can see from here it's a clean 3-shot, and he's just going to roar. Now, because he doesn't have entry hazards down, and unfortunately for MaverickHunterVile, he is going to roar me into my Typhlosion, and I am not going to overpredict. I'm going to go straight for the Fire Blast and take him down. Maverick Hunter's seen this team. I'm assuming he thought I would go for Sunny Day, so he was going to stay in and go for the Earthquake, which would not have killed. So, next is going to be Electrode. Now, I kind of make what might be a questionable play here as he sets up this light screen as I switch in with Bruce Goodman. Cloyster's done its job setting up spikes, so if it has to go down to a T-Bolt, that is perfectly fine by me. To be honest, I did expect him and hope for him to overpredict there, kind of like the case with the Typhlosion and Steelix, but no bones, no bars, and I am going to lose my Cloyster. Now, Gavin's going to come in to eat this Thunder Wave, and it's going to eat it no problem. Clavier Gavin's already slow. It really doesn't matter. Even though he shocks all the girls that he steps in the room with, he is just too slow to do anything. So he plays very nicely here, going for the explosion after T-Waving my Ampharos. But since it is an Electrode, it's not going to quite take out Marshall, but it's going to give him a switch into Charizard. Now, what I figured here is if he drums straight away, I want to deal as much damage to this Charizard because I cannot let it drum and just start ransacking my team, which is the reason that I go for the Thunder Punch there. Now, once again, I don't think he'll go for the drum. It's too risky, so he's just going to swap straight out into Machamp, eat some spikes, and I went straight away for the Stab T-Bolt, which unfortunately is not going to connect because of paralysis. So I'm going to make a switch into Hammond because I know for a fact I can get Hammond in this time on this Cross Chop. Pretty sure he was going to go for it, and with the crit, it does do quite a bit of damage. Now, he makes an awesome switch here. I didn't think he'd have a Tyranitar looking at his team structure here, but unfortunately T-Tart does show itself, and as long as it doesn't have Crunch, I could technically beat it. Interestingly enough, he follows up with a Dynamic Punch here, and I'm just going to charge my Solar Beam as he is going to make a switch into Charizard. Now, right here, I'm going to get a crit on the oncoming Charizard with a Solar Beam that I charged up, and that is going to be really awesome for me because right here, he's going to miss his Fire Blast, enabling me to get off a Stab Psychic, and that is going to bring this Charizard to a range that even if it had Belly Drum shenanigans, I'm not going to have to worry about it, as I luckily catch a crit on that Psychic as well. So, Gavin's going to come in to eat this Fire Blast. I figured he would go straight for it, just not risk anything trying to take out the Exeggutor. And I know from this range, he might actually go for it twice, predicting me to go back into Exeggutor, predicting his Earthquake. So he's going to do the double play there, make the Fire Blast, and I will connect with the Stab Thunderbolt, taking out this massive, massive threat to my team. What was so bad is he had the Para support with the fast Electrode, so that was really cool. Now, normally I would be able to deal with this oncoming Gyarados with a lot better ease, but he shows it at a perfect time to take out my electric counter, the main counter that I have to the Gyarados, as he just takes me out with the double edge. Now, I've got to come up with a winning stratagem here. I might could set this thing into a mean look as he goes for the Zap Cannon, revealing to me that he is the pretty much ever common underused cleaner set, Double Edge, Hydro Pump, Hidden Power Ground, and Zap Cannon. I'm going to go ahead and mean look this thing because now I'm thinking I'm going to look at Double Edge and kind of use the recoil to my advantage as I'm going to set up some growth here. Now, looking at the remainder of his team, a growth Exeggutor should be able to deal with his entire team with pretty relevant ease. I could have very easily gone for a Psychic earlier on when I went for the Solar Beam. Not sure why I did. I kind of figured the Charizard would have switched in back there, so that was a really bad play on my part. But looking at the current situation we have here, I'm just going to continue to go for the Moonlight to gauge if he did indeed have the stabbed Hidden Power flying as opposed to the ground, which I can see that he does not by the damage roll. So it's going to enable me to get off a couple of growths as he continues away with the Hidden Power. And I'm just going to continue boosting because between Moonlight and Growth and Baton Pass, I can do this all day long. Good sir. And Hidden Power Ground going to connect there, bringing me down to 229. But I am just going to pass this +3 over to Exeggutor, and I am just looking real good right here. I know for a fact that Psychic would have taken it out from this range, and I would say I was targeting the T-Tar, but considering that I baton passed the mean look, I really can't make that statement, and the residual damage from Double Edge is ridiculous. So Solar Beam very easily going to take it out at a +3, but I could have saved a lot of damage, and looking at it, it would have made a pretty big difference later on that you're going to see here. But I'm going to get up to 131 after this turn of leftovers, enabling me to do... I need to switch out here. I know Joe Dark can take anything, and I do find out this T-Tar is carrying the Crunch, leading me to believe it's Dynamic Punch, Crunch, Pursuit, and Fire Blast, as opposed to Earthquake, the way his team structure and his T-Tar is set up. He's going to whiff Dynamic Punch there, and that's going to enable me to go for the Cross Chop. Now, please just ignore that Skype window there. Remind me to go on D&D when I battle from now on, like forever. So now he's going to bring in his Machamp. His Machamp is going to have to step on some spikes when it comes in. And really, all I've got left is this Machamp, and he has got to go up against my Exeggutor and my Machamp to deal with this thing. But, you know, the more I've played this game, I've realized that Machamp actually handles Exeggutor based on situations sometimes a lot better than you may think. With spikes down, it's a guaranteed 2-shot with Fire Blast, so it's the real deal. And if it's carrying HP Bug after spikes, Eggy's going down, so... yeah, he goes for a Cross Chop, and he scores what he needs, and he doesn't over risk there. He just goes straight away for the Earthquake. Thinking about it, that could have brought in Hammond right there, but I really didn't want to take unnecessary damage. I know this thing's carrying Fire Blast, so I need to scout and get as much leftovers back as I can, because from this range, one Psychic will probably take it out. I just need to get it to that point. But he is going to go for the Cross Chop right there. He's not going to continue to Fire Blast, predicting my double switch, which is going to leave Hammond at a $177 after this turn, and that is not enough to live. Maybe, possibly, please. It's not in that range. It's a very close range. So that was a great game, MaverickHunterVile. If you guys saw this, I'm uploading it tonight, which would be August 14th. I had it up 9 hours ago as well, but the narration was so bad, I had to be quiet, so I really shouldn't have narrated it then. So I re-narrated for you guys, because you guys deserve the more enthusiastic crocodile, I guess you could say. So that was a wonderful second-gen match. If you enjoyed, please make sure you leave a comment, and rate, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And rate, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, objection, and find the computer room, and peace.